Car enthusiast revealed today how he was selling off an extraordinary £1 million collection of 174 dust-covered classic cars dating back to the 1940s in a huge auction after they were amassed by a mystery businessman at a 45,000 square feet warehouse in North London over 10 years. The stunning collection of vehicles, which has grown gradually at the site on a business park in Tottenham, have been given guide prices of up to £25,000, with the most expensive being a 1960 MG MGA red sports car. Others with high guide prices include a 1975 Mercedes 350 SL for £18,000, a 1989 BMW 635 CSI for £16,000 and 5 cars for £15,000 each, including a 1973 Porsche 911, a 1983 Mercedes 280 SL and a 1981 380 SL. Freddie Fisson, 35, who lives in London, told Mail Online he was organising the sale for a family friend who decided to sell his collection after the local council, which owns the warehouse, said they needed it back. The car enthusiast said, "Essentially it's a local businessman's private collection. Over the last 10 years he decided to build his collection, I think starting off with a Mercedes SL, having seen the popularity with the Pagoda and how that raised in price, thought that would be a big investment and obviously a passion project. He loves his cars, and since then has been collecting more and more. They were stored in a council-owned warehouse and the council are now redeveloping the area and said we need the warehouse back, all 45,000 square feet. Trying to find a new home for an indoor space in London for that size is not going to happen. Times have changed in 10 years. Speaking about how the cars were bought over time, Mr. Fisson added, each is an individual negotiation, each an individual journey from wherever it's from in the country to collect, drive back and park back. What it has meant is we've got this fantastically beautiful visual of old cars covered in dust and bird poo. It's rather romantic really. Among the other vehicles being shown off by the London Barn Finds team are a 1971 Triumph Spitfire Mk4, a 1973 MG MGB, a 1989 Nissan 300ZX and a 1986 Mercedes 300 SE, all of which have a guide price of £8,000. Other vehicles available around the same price range include a 1976 VW Camper, a 1986 Mercedes 300 SE and a Ponton 200 by the same manufacturer, while the cheapest is a 2000 Citroën Berlingo, up for £100. The oldest car on the list is a 1948 MG which does not have a guide price and was last taxed in 1991, with the second oldest being a 1952 MG YB and the third a 1955 Morris Minor with a guide price of £2,000. Some of the cars do not have number plates and others have no identifying documents, and a selection appear to be carrying the plates of different vehicles. Many have a thick layer of dust and are covered in bird droppings, however all of the cars are said to run properly and were driven to the warehouse under their own power, with some taxed for road use as recently as 2016 although others have not been taxed for 3 decades. Popular car enthusiast and YouTuber Freddie Atkins, who posts under the name The TFJJ, got to visit the site last week and described it as a very special warehouse, adding, "I've not seen anything like it before in my life. It's basically an insane collection of Mercedes, Porsche, Volkswagen, lots and lots of classic cars, BMW as well. They're all barn finds, they're all being sold here and are coming up for sale with London Barn Finds on Instagram." Mr. Atkins added, "The scale of this place is just incredible." He also said it was interesting seeing the varying states of the interior and the cars gave an insight into what the interior looks like if you left it out for many, many years. The cars, which have a combined guide list total price of £942,700, could be seen in a viewing session on Bank Holiday Monday, with no money changing hands on the day and all sales made by sealed bids after the event. The organizers said they would be contacting people who made bids following this open day and were still going through the offers as of today. They added that they would be putting any unsold cars up on eBay. Asked about the huge response from people interested in the cars, Mr. Fisson said, "It's been overwhelming. There's such a broad range of cars and within each category there were collectors and enthusiasts, and say for every car there's 50 people who are fascinated in its history and therefore it's a huge amount of admin." Having collected and driven cars his whole life, I don't think he had much of a collection before this. It's just a matter of space. The owner has bought these individually and paid prices for them individually. However, the fundamentals are all the same. They're running cars. He drove them all in there. Anybody who understands classic cars understands there is that risk to take. He continued, "We're going through to see the bids that are reasonable and then moving forward from there. I think we'll be listing them on eBay to allow from international and interest from people who weren't able to make the open day." There's a lot of people who were critical of the format of the sale, but it was born out of a requirement to get things done quickly, and also the owner's desire to do it that way, so I've been juggling a number of factors to put it together. A spokesman for London Barn Finds said on Instagram, "Thanks to everyone who came to the open day. We appreciate it was last minute but we had to manage it that way for reasons relating to the owner. We are currently looking at the bids received from Monday's viewing and will be contacting people who offered in due course. The next step will be eBay for the cars that haven't sold." They added, "You'll be able to find more information about each car there. Please keep your eyes peeled for UK listings with Barn Find in the title if you're looking to bid on any of the items seen in this collection." The spokesman said that they were sifting through 15 boxes of old receipts, old tax discs, photos of better years, service history, MOTs, V5s and more, and were aiming to share as much as possible with those interested. In other motoring news this week, a cleaner form of petrol called E10, which is made with up to 10% bioethanol, a type of renewable fuel, was introduced at filling stations from Wednesday. It will be the standard offering at forecourts as part of government plans to cut carbon emissions, and is replacing E5 petrol, blended with up to 5% bioethanol. The Department for Transport said more than 95% of petrol cars licensed for use on Britain's roads are compatible with E10, which is not expected to cost more than E5. An impact assessment published in January 2020 estimated that around 600,000 cars, such as classic cars or those built in the early 2000s, would be incompatible with the new fuel this year. Owners of those vehicles can continue to access E5 by purchasing super unleaded, which costs an average of 8.7p a litre more than standard petrol, according to AA figures. You can follow London Barn Finds on Instagram by clicking here for updates on what will happen next.